And I've studied businesses with revenue greater than $5 million, but less than $500 million. So $5 million minimum to $500 million at the maximum. These businesses are the ones that will now be owned, not in number 48%, but if you were to capitalize that whole market, private equity groups rather than individuals, will now own about 48% of that market. It's a very different market than it was 6 or 8 years ago.
I'll say. Those are interesting numbers.
Let me just back up to kind of an opening point, Marion. Those businesses, those mid-market businesses with revenue $5 million to $500 million, there are only about 350,000 of those in this country. 350,000 out of 27 million businesses.
Wow.
Let me that others could follow that.
Now, Richard, you're going to have to get closer to the phone. You're fading out there a little bit.
All right, I must have moved the phone away. Let me rephrase that statement. There are 27 million businesses in the United States currently, and these numbers are approximate. They change every day.
Right.
Only 350,000 of those have revenue more than $5 million. That's a huge wall.
Yes.
That is to say, 97% of the businesses in the United States have less than $5 million in revenue. I think that's prima facie evidence that walls exist.
Yes.
I also break the middle market into lower middle, mid-middle, and upper middle. If I broke it, for example, at $10 million rather than $5 million, 125,000 of those businesses would be all that remain. So we look at revenue greater than $10 million, about 125,000 businesses in this country. That wall between lower middle and mid-middle is very steep. And again, the wall from mid-middle up to the upper. And the upper middle market, there's only about 12,000 companies.
Interesting. And you're defining upper as what?
Over 500 million. Well, excuse me, 150 million to 500 million.
Okay.
It's a big territory, and not very many businesses in it, relatively speaking. So when we talk about walls, we may talk about the individual in a service crew or my company in the air charter business, or we can talk about demographic walls. They're there. Some of us overcome them, but the odds are horrible, very much against us.
When you say demographic walls, what are you referring to?
I mean that there out of 27 million businesses in the United States, there are only 300,000 that have greater than $5 million in revenue.
Gotcha.